Good morning, Jim.
Morning. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How about you?
Good, good. Yeah. You painting from your house or where are you painting from?
I'm actually in my office where I have a set up easel, but
Oh, you're always in your office.
that's the problem. That is,
Yeah, man. I tell you,
I
yeah, I think it was the last time you said you were painting your office, you couldn't get anything done.
I know, and I did some work on the dog, but I haven't gotten back to it yet. But
Ah, it's only been a few months.
that's the sad part. That is truly the sad part.
Oh my gosh.
But
So
anyhow,
anyway, it's good to be busy though. I mean, if things are going well and stuff. So
yeah, I just wish I would have a little bit more free time, but I'll get it. I'll get it. So sooner or later.
yeah. So hey, let's got a, got a few people signed up for our workshop.
Good.
Sorry, I got to clean the lens here. I look fuzzy. So, so you'll have the other Anne Marie's coming. We got a bunch of a lot of students and stuff. We got
Okay.
some people from Holland might be coming down. So
Well,
uh,
that's
should be a
good.
fun time.
If anybody needs, I have a neighbor next door to me who does Airbnb and another one down the street about a mile and a half who does Airbnb.
Okay, I
So if
will.
anybody needs that, let me know and I can give them their information.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
if we get
yeah.
a head count, because I have by that time I'll have the barn open and we can use the kitchen. I can cook lunch or something and if because there's not a lot right there to
Well,
go.
you got to be painting.
Well, I'll be paying. Well, my husband might do that. Who knows? Who knows? That's his job, really. But
Yeah. Well, yeah. Beginning of May should be just. It's always iffy. May's always kind of iffy up there. It can be very cold and not you know rainy
yeah,
and stuff up there too. So yeah, I really
push
appreciate
comes to
you.
shove, though. We have a heater in the barn, and it's big enough where everybody can set up and be warm. You know.
Good.
So
Well, yeah, good to hear. Good to hear about that and stuff. But hopefully, we can get out there and paint your goldfish pond.
oh yeah, absolutely. And then hopefully
Uh,
my water lilies might start sprouting up too. That would be good.
okay. Yeah, that will be fun. Yeah, we'll also go around and make people travel and see some of the sights of South Haven and stuff too. So
Yeah.
we won't, infringe on you too much, but there's some
Oh, no
cool kind of little
worries.
areas there. There is a lot. That's why I was going, God, this place is such a beautiful place for a plein air uh, painting, event even because
Yeah.
there's so much there.
In fact, right down the street from me is Wakina, which
Yeah.
is preserved land that's been bought by this guy from Chicago years ago, and it's been stuck in a trust that can't be touched, and it's for the people to use. And it has ponds and buildings, and you can walk to the beach. It's beautiful there, and there's a lot
Oh,
of plein air artists that always go out there to paint.
there we go.
So it's
So
definitely good.
much to paint, so little time.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's a
Your
nice
work
three
is
day
just,
event. So
pardon me?
it's a 3 day event, so it should be, pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you're rethinking it. You go, oh, I can't take 3 days off.
Oh, yes, I can. My son knows about it, so he's like, "Get out of here early, go enjoy." So
Yeah, I know. I was thinking like I did go up there a week early and just hang out and bring the dogs and let the dog get some work done that way.
yeah,
Get some photos of those guys. More photos.
your work has just been incredible that you've
Ah,
been posting. Really,
I tell you, it just doesn't take much. You get this little gratification, and you just keep going. Everybody just it gives you that another big push.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you find out, yeah, I can. Just yeah, it's fun. So
Well, it's well. really beautiful work.
Ah, yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having fun. It's fun though. I tell you, it's really so much fun. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'll just show you what I started, but I have a lot to go. Let's see if
Okay,
I
let
can.
me replace yours. Good.
I don't even know how to do this. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, he's got
Wow.
a lot to go yet, but
Yeah,
um,
it's always a lot to go, but you find out, how loose you want to be and
yeah.
stuff. You might not have more than an hour or two to finish that.
Well, with this one, yeah, because I think if I could, I
I
just have
think
to
you're
go.
really close on that one. That's looking really great.
Thank you. Just keep
Mine,
it clean, I mean, I tend to get
it,
muddy if I play with it too long. But
yeah, just that. Yeah, I think the dog's pretty good there. The dog looks really good. Yeah, just I don't. Yeah,
I just want to
what?
get
Come
his
forward a little
eyes.
bit. Right there, right there.
Hold on. Get the
Okay,
light.
there we go. Yeah, yeah, just a little work around the eyes and yeah, just some of the waves in the background. I think just have to be a little bit simpler. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, just shape wise. I like your brush strokes. I like everything that way. Just when you don't get too complex when you do the waves and stuff. That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's a really great start. I
give
mean,
it a
that's
try.
three-quarters. Yeah, I mean that's even just working on toning down what is the back of his neck or his ear back there on the left
Right.
side.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You tone that guy down to coming forward a little bit.
Over
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
yeah. You tone that area down and yeah, that's really beautiful.
And soften this a little. Looks like he's got a black eye. Just soften this a little bit.
Yeah, that's always the thing. That's why when I paint wet and wet, it's easy to fix those little black eyes and stuff like that
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff.
this is
I
beyond
think
wet.
you can do it. You can finish it.
Well,
It's a
hopefully
beauty.
later on today after the bird.
Right. It's beautiful. Finish it. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have great intentions. I get here and then luckily today nobody's here, so I can get some of
Yeah. I mean,
me time in.
oh man, I have like 50 people signed up for this. So I don't know why anybody's not here unless they did not. You knew enough to download the PDF and the link was on there, right?
Yes, I got lucky
Okay.
doing it, but I figured I scrolled down and saw it. I thought, okay, this should be easier this time. You know,
Oh man.
it wasn't a problem though, because once you hit the link, it brought you right there.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. But I'm afraid I have four people here when really only two, you, Claire, and Claire, I mean, Char, and I think everybody forgot to download the thing.
Huh.
Oh well, I didn't send out the link either. It was just like got busy. So let me
Well,
let me
hopefully.
check my let
Check
me
your
check.
your face to or your email to see if people are screaming. I can't
Yeah,
get in.
let me check I'm gonna copy the link here
Okay.
and do that real quick. She says they're asking for a passcode. Oh shit. It does that every once in a while.
Drives you nuts. It's supposed to be
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. I mean, they paid a whole $5 for this class. We've got to get it to them. One second. Yeah, it's gonna be more than 1 second, probably.
I'm gonna go grab some coffee.
Yeah,
Load up.
yeah. I'm gonna Jesus, I probably have to give everybody who a photo too, because I'm pretty sure they probably don't even have photos.
Oh, that's true.
Where is it? Don't I have it here?
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, this is what we're supposed to be painting.
The crow, right?
Yeah, the crow.
Okay.
Yeah, can you see that or not?
I downloaded the picture and printed it.
Okay. All right. Let me check my emails one more time. Trying to connect. Okay. Jesus. It's probably because they got on late here. Yeah, they're all asking for it. So I should probably just get 1 second. I gotta go once. Okay, now we got 7, so we got a few people who were able to get back on. All right. Should be another 30 or people here asking about.
Huh.
That's the thing with Zoom. I swear, you put it all in there. They ask for a passcode. They never ask for passcode. Now all of a sudden they'll ask for a passcode. I don't know. It's just a
They
pain in the butt sometimes.
make it complicated.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 8 people.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I just checked my email, so it's only the people like that. Maybe I'll post it on. Let me go to my Facebook page and put it there just in case people missed it. Probably getting a lot of screaming people here. Yeah, there you go. No, that's not it. Okay, not too many. Not there. Okay. One thing. Where would they go? Oh, there it is.
I love that cat.
I'm just gonna paste it now on there. Let's see if anybody who wants it can come play. Okay, that's best I can do. All right, let me see if anybody else is coming. Sorry about that, folks. The link usually works like that. You never usually have to put in that security code, uh, and somehow it went in there. I mean, that's Zoom for you. Don't do anything different every time. It's always it's the same way, just laying it in there, dropping it in, and it should be fine. But sometimes it just gets kind of quirky like that. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today. We're just going to get going here. I mean, this is being recorded. All my classes are recorded. So you'll be able to watch this, rewatch this as many times as you want. I will send out the new link to everybody or post it on Facebook again for everybody to see. And that's, that's what we do here. That's how we work this. Jim Swanson. I'm a signature oil painter with Oil Painters of America, with the American Impressionist Society, and with the National Oil and Acrylic Painters Society, and some animal things. I'm Society of Animal Painters stuff too. So I do pretty well. This is one of our workshop paintings we did back in January, and it didn't look like this at the beginning. I mean, I really reworked it and went back into it a lot, and it's always that's the way these things go. You can always keep getting fresh eyes and things. So basically, I do 2 classes a week. I do a Monday night class and I do a Saturday morning class like this. Usually the link works and we have no problems. But today, for some reason, they want to. Enough. And they're usually 8-week classes. The next ones start up in a couple weeks, and they go for 8 weeks. There are always a couple of hiccups in there. I do workshops, and sometimes they overlap, and so the class gets pushed back and stuff. But usually, I know ahead of time. So that's how we get going right now. And what we're going to do today is going to be not be painting this one down here. We're going to be painting. Sorry, I got my dogs running around. We're going to be painting this crow today. This is how the class works. We usually go through the photo a little bit with you and talk to you about it, what's going on, and what design things to look for, things like that. Color we're going to be working with. So we'll go through that, and then we'll go over to the palette. We'll mix up a bunch of colors, and you guys can paint along with me, or you can watch and paint along, take notes, or paint along later. That's fine too. No big deal. Let's see what else. So that's it. We'll get going here. So again, this photo came from some friends at paintmyphoto.com, or it's not .com. It's a different thing because it's Australian. But there are some friends there, and they're just a bunch of artists, and they put up their reference work, and we all kind of share. Everybody can share. Anybody can join it too. So if you want to go, you need to find decent reference. They have tons and tons and tons of it. You can go do it. I do it for class a lot of times. So, but this one, because I'm looking for a crow. I can get a bunch of crow shots and have something to pick out. So let me pull it up. I'm going to pull it up here a second, and we'll go over the photo of how we're going to paint it. Okay, there we go. Nice crow. Beautiful look. Lots of nice colors for a black crow. You always think of black crows not having a, being a good band, right? I mean, making a lot of no, that's Black Keys. I was also, oh, forget it. Another thing about my classes, I'm always goofing around. I'm very, I do not, I'm from Wisconsin. I'm very sarcastic person. So I don't take too many things serious. Even when I'm painting, I'm not very serious. Okay. So this crow is pretty cool. Lots of colors, nice colors for a black crow. You see the reds, you see the burnt reds, you see the blues, you see the purples, you see start seeing greens in there. Then when you get into the darker areas, they really, all those colors are still going to be there, just a different value. One of the biggest things about painting is value. And that's why I put a little value scale on the side on my paintings or my photos. It's really easy for me to tell you the value. It's more important if you get the value right, then you have to worry about the color. Get the value first, and then we'll worry about the color. Colors are pretty simple. We're going to be simple mixes, hopefully. I say that, but there's no such thing as simple in painting usually, but that's what we strive for, keep it as simple as possible, because it gets complicated. It's going to get very complicated. So keeping it simple always works. Let's see these guys, nice head, beautiful eye, the eyes, a blue eye, light blue eye like that's interesting, and the beak, it's not a huge beak. Usually, there are so many different kinds of crows, because we've done a few of them, and some of them have a lot bigger beaks. And this guy's just a young one. I don't know. I'm not a really bird person, so I don't know a lot of things. I know that these are feet, and that's a beak, and that's a head, but that's about it. Okay, let's go through this a little bit now. Design wise, it's not nothing too crazy. A nice, we got a nice, diagonal for the bird, which is nice. His head's off center already, so we don't have to do that. Have to worry about getting things out of the middle of a painting. Here, let me show you this. Usually I work the rule of thirds. It's usually 1/3 high or two-thirds down below, and then on the sides 1/3, 1/3, so you can put things in the corners here. Focuses in the corners and you're good, but you don't want to put anything too much in the middle. So that's kind of rules, rules in painting. Little things for myself. Rules are for you, and they're not for me. That's the thing about painting. It's the rules are kind of loosey goosey, and you start to end up making your own rules. And that's what the more important, that the rules of yourself than worrying about what somebody else is telling you too much. Okay, so back. Sorry, I get off track pretty quick too. But okay. Design wise, it's a crow. We're not really thinking about background, not worried about that today. Today is going to be more of a painting style of rough and, more modern, I would say, probably, where we're going to be trying to experiment a little bit with some things and see what we can do with this guy. There are some nice things about this crow already. It's a simple, very, solid shape right there. Nothing too tough to do. But that shape needs to move. So we're going to try to create movement in the painting, even with a static object. So that's going to be kind of fun. And that's where we're going to be doing a lot of experimenting. We're going to be doing a lot of pushings and pullings. And one of the things about pushing and pullings on paintings, especially if you have this really strong shape, if you paint it like that, that's fine. That's a great way to paint it. But if you wanted to make it a little more modern, little things, there's always areas in the painting you want to take and, soften or slow down. You got this nice little swoop here coming down here. And it already tells you that this right here is a nice place to put a smush with your finger or with the card or something like that. But you also have this big area here that is going to end up being pretty fast, visually fast. So it's going to, that goes fast, this goes fast. Any straight lines usually go fast in a painting. They create, they take the eye and zoom it past things. So what we're going to try and do is slow that down with little like that by nicking it, just cutting into little areas and just, nicking things. And when you nick things, you create ups and downs, and that slows people down. It creates hills in the line, and it just visually slows the eye down. So also there's softening. We'll be using our finger and we'll be going in softening areas or blurring areas out. We'll try to keep a couple areas that are really kind of in focus. The eyes are always important to keep in focus. The beak's pretty good, but the beak also could, gets to be nothing. So you kind of like nick it a little bit. And like say nick it, and you got a little thing up there, you'd nick it. So that's the thing too, is finding the places to nick a painting. Because you don't want to do every place. So you got to, give yourself only like five or six nicks to do in a painting. And then you don't go crazy unless that's what we were going for. That's your rule. Anyway, so color wise, we're gonna be going over the palette now real quick. Design wise, we're really good. I just love this, how the darks on this area here will kind of pull together. That's going to be nice to paint. The background, at least there's no background really to worry about interfering, but we're going to create a background to, add to this thing. That's the thing, is we got a nice photo, but we want to enhance it, do some things to it to make it a little bit better. Okay. So, that's about it on this one. Any questions? Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I just want to say thank you. And your paintings are so beautiful, and I appreciate you. Me and my sister Jeannie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Glad to see you we're able to get on somehow. I don't know what happened. Anyway, thank you again. Okay, let me see. Let's see, I'll find my guy over here and we will go over to the palette. And we'll go through the palette and talk about colors a little bit. And we'll mix up the paint colors, what we're going to be doing here. First, I go through my kit and things like that. Colors I have out over here. I have just titanium white. We got cad yellow out, cad yellow light out. I got cad red light out. I got cad orange out. This is yellow ochre. This is Terra Rosa today. It could be Venetian. This could be or oxide red transparent or oxide red light. This is alizarin crimson. Or if you are Rembrandt colors, I do get Rembrandt colors for all my paints. This is Rose Madder Deep from them. This is cobalt blue hue right here. This blue, I'll just call it blue for us because cobalt blue hue. There's a lot to get out in a painting session. You know, we'll be here all day. So that's my blue, is a cobalt blue hue. It's a hue. It's not cobalt, but it's a hue of, you know, it's a scientifically made representation of cobalt. It is one of the darkest blues on the market for what I do, and it's that's why I use it, because it, when you put white to it, it becomes like cobalt. It's a beautiful blue, and it works with a lot of these colors. Some works really well with these colors, and it's not too cool. You can make it cool, but it's not too cool, like ultramarine. Ultramarine's just is like a periwinkle compared to this. My next color, these are phthalo. This is a phthalo green blue, phthalo green blue. It's a great color. I hated phthalos, never wanted to ever use phthalos, but till I took a workshop with Collie Wisson, an Australian painter, and he had phthalo green on his palette, made us all have that. And it took a while to get it up, put it on my palette and get used to using it. But now I get used to using it. You know, it's nice because dark wise, I only have a couple darks, really dark ones. I don't like this red. I can't use it by itself, but these two colors mixed into everything work really well. I do have the little burnt umber back here, but that's from an old painting this week, so I'm not going to be using that. But we'll be using these colors today. My kit, of course, I have a palette knife. I like these spade bit palette because it can get and it still got the long sides, so I can use those, and that makes a great paint. I've got a big brush. These are my big these are by Royal Langnickel. These are really great. These are just a craft brush. These are cheap and crappy brushes, but look at that line they got. I've been using this one for about a month, and it has that line on it yet. You can just see how sharp that is, and it gets that wide. It's fabulous brush. But I also have, you know, my Rosemary synthetics. You know, these are long flat ivories, so those work great. And then you have some bristle brushes. You gotta know your brushes, because your difference between using, they make really quite different marks. And speaking of marks, my last little gadget is a paint eraser. Basically, like when you need to erase paint, this will come in handy if you have an old spatula in your kitchen stuff you want to get rid of. You can trim the edge with scissors and make these things. And that rubber, it really is great for when you're painting wet into wet and need to take off paint. This is great stuff. You can buy and you can go out and buy brushes just like this with a synthetic like this on it, or rubber on it, and it works great. So I just make my own. Okay, let me see, get my brushes out of the way. I'll be using today. I'm going to put out just a little more of my last of my. See, I get free paint from Rembrandt, and I still, doesn't make a difference. I still want to get every bit out of these, every tube. It's great stuff. All right, today we will be doing this. We will be painting this guy. This should be fun. Color-wise, I'll mix up about half my colors, or 3/4 of my colors, really, for this painting. But most of those colors are going to be mixes of intermixes, I call it. We're going to start off with the darks. We're going to look in here and see the darks. Let me pull up. I got to turn my monitor back on. I have a big old monitor over to the side, and that's the colors I really use. But this is a good printout. This is a really good printout. Color wise, it's almost exact. So I can point to these things and tell you what I'm going to be looking at. So I'm going to look over here on this side. We're going to paint. I work dark to light. So we're going to be painting, mixing colors, dark to light. So we're going to just look at and focus on dark colors. And the darkest colors are up here in the head and coming down to the waist in things. One of the things about dark colors, there's always two sides to the dark. There's a warm dark and there's a cool dark. So I try to, each color I try to make a cool one and a warm one version of it. And that's really quite easy, which you'll see when we get going here. So I'm going to look at the head here and look. There's a few colors in this head that are interesting. There are some cool reds, red blues up here in the head, which kind of make a kind of a purple. So it's kind of a cool red. So that tells me it's going to be alizarin since it's cool. So I'm going to go with put out some blue. I don't need quite that much blue out, I don't think yet. So I put two pieces out, one, and I will be putting red, the alizarin crimson into them. The first one is going to go a little red. So when I pull it down, you can see the purple in it, but you can see it's on the red side. Then on the next one, I'm going to make it on the blue side. So it's just going to have a little bit less alizarin in it. Alizarin is a good strong color, so it can, handle this blue really well and stuff. So I bring it over pretty slow. So that's the blue side. I'm just going to put a little more alizarin in that. That's a little bit too much blue, but it's good to have because you'll see that in here. You can see how dark this is. And these are pretty much some of my darkest colors right there. So we're not going to make up too much, but those are, as you can see, I made two colors. When you put red into something, it's usually going to go on the warm side. So that's why I say this is going to be warm. This is cool. So because it's on the blue side. So you get two colors out of each one. I'll be doing that one more time with blue again. And this time we will be doing a warm red. If you have like Terra Rosa or Venetian or oxide red light, you put that in here. And if you don't even have that, even burnt sienna might work, would work. You might have to put just a little bit of like cad red into it a little bit, but that would work. So I'm going to mix up two colors. This is definitely on the red side. You can see that red brown coming through. So I'll put out some more blue, take a piece of that and mix it in with my blue. That way I can still get I want to still see blue, but I want, this is almost just a touch too red. So I'm going to add blue back to that. There you go. I want them a little muted. So I don't want to scream out. So that one's on the red side, that's on the blue side. You'll be able to see it on this next part of mixing I do. Also, I look in here, I'm going to see some greens and stuff. So I'm going to mix up these same colors. Basically, instead of blue, I'll be using green, phthalo green. So I'm going to put a phthalo green, and I'm going to go with alizarin again. So alizarin and phthalo green. Phthalo greens are a very strong color, and some people like to use Viridian in place of it, on their palette. I use phthalo green because I think it's a cleaner color of green. Viridian, great color, but I just don't. I need to keep my paintings clean as possible. It's just cleaner color. So this one's on the red side. You can see it. You can see I pull it down, and then this one's on the green side.
And what did you mix there again, please?
This is phthalo green and alizarin.
Okay.
These two. And that's the way it goes. If you have a question too, at any time, please just yell it out, ask it. I'm happy to listen. I'll stop and, and give a lecture or something. No, but just ask what I'm doing. That's fine. I'm not, it's not a big concentration breaker or anything. I'm not a big. We can just push you guys together. That's just.
Can I use Viridian green? What can I use if I don't have phthalo green?
Yeah, Viridian will work. That's what I was saying. Viridian works at this point too. Phthalo just makes a nice, cleaner color. Viridian's a little bit more earthy green. I mean, it's about the same, but it's a little more earthy. And I just pulled out a ton. But if you get it on your hands, this phthalo, you'll get it. It'll get everywhere. So that's why you always paint. I always do this stuff with a knife because it will get everywhere. So this is how I laid out my colors. Basically, I'm doing only the darks that I think are going to be in this bird here, and that's pretty much it. We got again, alizarin and blue up here, and then we have I got terra rosa and blue, and then we have phthalo green and alizarin together on these two. More red on this one, more green on that side. And then again, we did the same thing with terra rosa here, terra rosa on this side, phthalo green on this side, stronger. The next thing I'll do is just look at this and get the value of this bird. Now we're looking at the main, those are the dark sections, this shadow area coming down here. Now you look for the main value here, and you're going to see that this, right in about here of the bird, and you squint down, it's going to be about an 8, if lucky. It's pretty dark. That means not much light right there is going to be coming out. I'll take each pile here and split it. I'm going to split all my piles, and each time I do wipe off my knife in between because I don't want to pollute the piles. That's what makes dirty paintings, is when you start mixing all your colors together too quickly. Most of the paint mixing is going to end up being done on the canvas. Okay. All right. So I'm going to mute. Okay, I had to mute everybody. But if you have a question, please unmute yourself and ask it. And ask them anytime. I'm here to, this is just a little goofy painting and stuff we're going to be doing. So back to the paint board here. I took these colors and I just split them. I just split my piles. I work in piles. I just never did say anything about that. I'm going to add just white, a little bit of white to each one of these guys. And being in number 8 down here value-wise, you don't need much white. Basically, we just want to add enough white. Oops, that's probably even too much. Just enough white that you can see the color. And that was way too much. So I'm going to have to go back here and steal from the mother pile, bring it back down and darken this up until it gets about an 8. Right now, that's not even dark enough. That's not dark enough. Basically, I'll have to end up taking the whole pile and remaking that first pile, which is okay. But trying to get to an 8 down here, there you go. But that was easy. This is a good way to do it because you kind of remember your colors up here. It's really easy to see. That has blue and alizarin in it, and this one's just blue. That tells me how much white I have to put into all these piles now. So what I want to do is create the second line of colors all to that value. So if you squint your eyes, you will see about the same value. When they all go gray, they all feel like about the same value. And I just did what I told you not to do. But that's okay. It had mostly blue in it. So I'll just take a little bit of these piles. And just add just a hair of white into them. We're going to be adding a little bit more white to them too as we keep going and changing around a little bit. We're going to have to get some really intense, blues and warm reds into this guy. Right now, I'm working on this section here. And the thing is, I know these colors are in the darks, so I know these colors are going to be in the midtones. So all I have to do is add enough white, and then I can shift them if I have to. Shift them over value-wise, but usually just the change from no light to adding just a little bit of light is good enough. Value-wise, yep, there you go. You can start to see the green. The phthalo green is a strong color. It just doesn't, sometimes up there in that first row of colors, it doesn't really jump out at you. But when you start adding just a hair of light to it, it just can take over. And it does. All right. So those are my basic bird colors area things. One of the things you're going to notice, we need to get some brighter colors in here and a background. The background we're going to be a little shifty on today. We're not going to be worrying too much about the colors in the background. We're going to have a little fun with that. That's what half the thing about painting is, having fun. So I don't take too many things too serious when I'm painting. All right, so we need to do some lighter ones. So basically, all those colors I just did, we could take them down. And if you look at this value here in the top of the head, you can see that's probably right around a 4, 5-ish. It's not, he doesn't get too bright. So, and you can see it kind of has a little bit of red into it. It has a little bit of blue into it. It has a little green into it. So the easiest thing is just to take these guys down to a 4 now. Just take these piles here and add just enough white to them to make them a 4. So it might not take much. That was probably too much, but that's okay. No, it's coming back. So you start to see some of the colors emerge here. The blues will start to really start to shine. These purples will start to work out. You got to have these grayed out purples because they make a lot of things shine colors wise. So I always gotta have these ones. They're just like key colors, even though they're just like backup singers. You gotta have them. Okay. And I'll just take these guys. So basically all I did is made some darks and just made 3 different values of that same color just by adding white. And the key thing is just knowing what's in those darks to be able to get to this point where you have all the colors you need. You got warms, you got cools on each side. So you got plenty of things to play with. That's half the thing, is being able to have colors to play with and have them organized that you can see them very quickly and easily instead of having them just a jumble of paint colors on your palette. You don't know when you're over painting, when you come back to your palette and you look at your palette and it's just a jumble of colors, you can't pick out the color. Sometimes you forget which color you grabbed and you just need some more of it to go back to your painting. You don't have it. So if you organize your painting like this, you organize it, and this is the easiest, simplest way to organize it. And it just keeps your paint clean. It keeps your painting clean. And that way you can concentrate on painting and not mixing colors. And that's what we're doing here. Just going to mix all of our colors. Because you can see we didn't do too many. We just basically added white to a bunch of colors. Now we'll get to the key colors in the painting. Of course, you got the reds, warm reds, and you got the purples and the blues and the warm things here. So let's go with the blues first. Definitely got to start off with blue. But in that blue, we're going to see a few colors we didn't mix up here. And I would say that's going to be phthalo green and blue. This will make a beautiful little kind of turquoise kind of color. You know, and definitely that's on the blue side, you know, so take a piece of it, add some more green to it. Just, you don't have to add much because green will take over, and then make one on the warmer side, which is the green side. And that's, you know, so when you pull it down, you can see the difference. That could go a little greener. Amazing. It should, you keep feeling like I'm grabbing paint, but I think I'm just pushing it. There you go. Now you can pull it down. You can see, definitely see green. And you can see that in there. Well, you can just see that, you know, when you pull it down, what that color does when you add white to it. You can just see how the richness of that color can be. So you got to have a few rich colors. Definitely need those. You need a red brown. No, red brown. Let's work with that a little bit. I'm going to start off with a alizarin because that's a dark red, but it's a cool dark red. I'm going to start off with that, and I'm just going to add just a little of, if you have cat orange, that'd be great. Just a little bit of cat orange to it to lighten it up. The yellow in there will also make it a kind of a orange. I mean, we'll just warm that up. Oh, you know, getting the colors sometimes just take your time. Take your time mixing the guys up. That one worked out pretty well. I probably could use a little bit darker version of it. Let me see. Let's go with phthalo green. Just a scratch of phthalo green. Just a scratch of that. And cat orange together. Two. What could be cat red? Let me see. A lot of cat. Usually, phthalo greens can be strong. So, you know, when you have these colors and stuff, sometimes you just take it easy. So a little more, just a little bit more. Let me try one different thing too. Just try a little bit of cat red with that instead. Phthalo greens and cat reds. There you go. That'll be in here. Okay. So just a hair bigger file in each one of these guys. That's a great color. Sometimes just when you do this, you just don't know. I've never painted this painting before. So mixing the colors is an experiment to see where I can go and what works and what doesn't. Now I can go through, and after I got to this point, now I can go through and figure out what these colors need to get them where they need to go, or if they're close enough type things. This is really good. It could be a little greener, but I'm going to get that on this side with phthalo green and cat red. And then I'm going to take these colors down. Oop. That's the thing. Talking and mixing colors sometimes takes a little bit more out of you. There you go. Okay. So that you can definitely tell that's on the red side, that's on the green side. Orange right here. Did not do the two sides because I was thinking let me put it over here where I can do it right. So this is on the orange side. Phthalo green, cat orange. That's the orange side. It's almost like an ochre. And sometimes say you don't have ochre, you can always make it. Ochre's not a big deal to make. But I was thinking background wise, this color knocked down with some so this is on the green side. Just a little, that's too much ochre. That's too much. Too much. Keep it on the green side. Well, that's really green. See, you can make all your greens just like that. So add a little bit more orange back to it. Okay, so these are my bright colors. And as I did back there, I'm going to take these colors and brighten them up just a little bit. So I'm going to split these piles. Definitely do want to clean your knife in between colors because these are the kind of really rich colors for the painting. And if you mix all your colors now, these guys up, you're gonna end up with mud. So let's do that. Then I'm gonna take these colors and do the same thing. And value-wise, same kind of thing. I'm going to keep them right pretty dark, so I'm not going to add a lot of white to each one of these guys, just a little bit of white. So let's see what happens here. Get them all about, if I can get them all about the same value as those, that means they'll work. I can get them, they'll work easily together. And you don't have to worry about these things they call like harmony, color harmony, and things like that. It's value harmony, really. You want the values to be good and tight. That way you can use almost any color next to any color, and it will work.
Can you please repeat how you got the lighter yellow, orange, and the lighter green? Thank you.
Over here, these two.
Yes.
Yep, those were phthalo green. Just a scratch of phthalo green and cat orange. This is on the orange side, and this is on the green side. So there's just a touch more green to it. This has a lot less green to it. If you have, mine are professional colors. So my cat orange is really strong. So it can compete with a phthalo green. But if you don't, you could use up all your cat orange to make that color. So don't, take it easy. You can always bring the phthalo green in. And I'm talking scratches. When I'm talking scratches, I'm just, that much is a scratch, and then just add to it. You don't need much. Phthalo green will take, you can bring it in and keep bringing it in, and then you're going to find out it went too far. So I am just putting a little bit of white into these colors because these colors here, even when they gray down, they will be, you could just start to see how they start to fit in here. They can fit a lot of places. And this might seem like a little unneedy to do this. But this is what I do. This is what I do on every painting, no matter what I'm painting. I'll mix up every color I think I can see in here. And then when I go to paint, I can paint. I don't have to think about colors. And I can paint very quickly and efficiently because I don't have to think about, I got a color being off, because if it works on the palette like this, it works in the painting. It can work in the painting. All right. So this is what happens. A lot of colors aren't going to be exactly right, but there are some other colors in here that will work. All right. That would be normally our painting. I definitely have to get a light blue you know, the eyes, but you might have it right here. This is really close. Value wise, it needs to go. If this is at a 4, no, this is probably at a 6. Probably could go closer to a 3 or 4 value range for the eyes. So that's basically when I finally get to the eyes, I can just add just a touch of white like that and, you know, nail it. That's on the little green side. I'd look over here, probably this one or here. The blue and stuff would probably be a lot closer to it. So that would be the last little things. And that's, you know, no big deals to get it, to nail it and stuff. So they just come out of these colors. Background, doggone it, you know, it's supposed to come out of here, but that just needs more white. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to take these warms here and I'm going to add some more white to them too. Value wise, I'm looking at the background. I need to go pretty high, even at that one. That one's like a 5. I need to go probably around 3. This says more white, more white. So a couple steps of white added to it. And if I do that with all these 3, I can put these guys in that background anywhere I want. In the right, not anywhere, yeah, anywhere I want. And they should work. Okay, so these are my basic, what? You know, that's a big background. And I did not add, you know, I got such a little tile. All right, I'm gonna make this one just a little bit bigger. This, nah. I talk to myself too. You know, somebody got to talk to me. So I will keep a conversation going. There we go. So these values here, just, you know, you see how beautifully they work together. They can go in here and do the same thing. They can go in the highlights and work. You'll find probably closer to that would work in a highlight. And I think that's it for this one. I think I can find values in here for any of the highlights. We made the eye and things. Okay, I'll just go through the colors again. What we did. Mixes. I know if you try to mix up, you're probably behind. I know where I'm kind of going to go with the painting and stuff right away. So when mixing colors and stuff, it's pretty easy for me to just go and lay these out. As long as you figure out the values. So here we start off with just blue and alizarin together. We made 2 versions of it, one on the alizarin side, so it had more alizarin in it. You can see that coming down here. And then we got one on the blue side. So this coming down here. And then we took them to like a number 8 value. So that's just a little bit of white into the colors. So we split the piles and we put the color, white, a little bit of white into it. Down here, we took them to probably, that's probably more of a 6 than anything else. So it's 6 value. So just add a little bit more white. We could take them a little higher, but then we are painting a very dark crow. These colors, as long as you can see the color like that, we'll be playing against contrast-wise, we'll be playing against these guys. So even though these guys aren't like heavy-duty whites like down in here, they will do the lightning of the bird. So we got a lot of rich colors up here. This is a rosa and blue, and they're coming down. And blue with on the blue side with Terra Rosa. Over here we just did alizarin, phthalo green, and alizarin together, and bringing them down white. Over here we did phthalo green and cad red together, or not cad, Terra Rosa together, and bring it down. We did cad red over here with phthalo green and white, but we brought those guys down in 2 sections. Over here we're just looking at some of the richer blue values of this guy here. We definitely needed some blue and just a little bit of phthalo green. And over here we have phthalo green and just a little bit of blue. Yeah, very on the blue side for this one anyway yet. Bringing those guys down and then taking the blue one to pretty high key, probably 2 or 3 value to the eye. Try not to get it too bright. You can always brighten things. You know, when keep it a little dark. It's almost night. It's always good to go dark to light and sneak up on that eye. Because if you get there you put it in too harsh, it will look harsh. You got to have the right value for it. Those little areas like that, especially in that dark, because it's surrounded by darks, that eye will pop out if it's not the right value. And I'm thinking even mine is probably going to be too dark, too light. So we'll see. Okay, and the last colors here I just did here was mixing up some of these browns and reds and stuff like that. This is a alizarin and Terra Rosa together. And then I just split it, added some white. Here we did Cad Red and Phthalo Green together. Move that over here now. And here we did Phthalo Green coming down with these guys. Did the same thing I did up there. Over here we did Cad Orange and Phthalo Green. I took it from over here to this spot here and moved it over. Because it's going to be pretty much the background. A lot of the background is going to come out of these two colors mixed up together. But this is a lot of Cad Orange. This is a little bit of more Phthalo Green. Takes over really quickly, brings it down. And then I made up a few of these other ones too, a little bit lighter too. Took these guys a little lighter than I did those guys up there. But that's how I basically lay out my palette. From here on out, we just paint. Now it's just painting. I'll figure out a tone. I'm going to tone this canvas with, you have Terra Rosa. I'll be tearing just one color, Terra Rosa here. I'm going to be toning it with a warm red because I want that underneath the painting. So that's what I'm going to start with. Come out and get everything else ready to go here. Get everything ready. Okay, I'll bring the camera in. All right. We are coming back. Okay. So there's my pen. I'm painting a square. That's what I had laying around today for this one. It's like an 18 by 18. I also work with linen. These Centurions are you can get them at Jerry's Artorama. These guys are really great. I mean, for this kind of purpose, linen so much better in canvas, and they're about the same price as a canvas. So that's always a good thing. They really hold paint great. This is where I'll start off. I'll just be starting with my big brush, my biggest brush, to lay it all out and get things going here. So I'm going to tone the canvas with this red, warm red, and then draw it out, and then we'll really get into painting really quickly. So my paints are ready to go. Figured it all out. Now I just got a big red here. And I'm just going to tone it down. These things really need a little bit of care at the beginning like this. That's why I always love to tone them out, because they just to get them, these linens to start to accept paint correctly, You gotta really put just a slight slickness of oil on them. And I really don't want to paint against white. Anyway, actually, that's just the way I work too. I mean, some people like to paint on that, paint right on white. That's fine. But I just want to get just tone this out and start thinking about the painting a little bit as I go here. Just thinking about lights and darks in this painting, even cools and warms on what sides, splitting the painting up a little bit. There we go. Basically got rid of all that white. Now I can really, as I go, I can judge color quicker, faster, and it'll be nice. So, toned out. Now I just gotta lay it out. Okay, I'm just gonna add a few more squiggles to this background because we know because I already have a plan, and that's one of the things about painting and stuff is having a plan and knowing where you're going to want to take this painting before you start painting. And I knew I was going to be kind of graphic. I showed you guys saw the other painting of the crow and stuff, and it's very graphic and kind of has some really nice cuts in it and things like that. So even in this background back in here, I want to be just a little loosey-goosey with it because some of this stuff could end up being in the painting at the end. And if I don't like it, this is oils, it's great stuff. If I don't like it, I'll just I can paint right over it. Let it dry, repaint it. I mean, repaint the thing, right? So I'm just going to look for a little, think about, getting a few loose, goosey strokes, little mixes like that. I like this one, just looks like a peace sign. Let's get rid of it. Just has a little fun in the background, a little modern look to it, But you don't want it. You don't want it to be over modeled, so it feels the same all the way around. It's not like a photographer's background or anything. You want to really kind of have a certain feel to it. Where that marked right there, there's some things there that have some blendings going in and some things like that. That would have worked out really great because that's right about where the head's going to go. And when you think about that, you think about, okay, let's just go a little bit heavier with that. And then, that'll work out great. That'll work. That can work. And then the thing, also think about the shadow. Maybe you don't have to paint that shadow like it is. Maybe something more like an idea of the shadow is better. Who knows? Like I said, if I don't like it, I'll just get rid of it at the end. But right now, I'm just going to go with it. All right. Laying this thing out. Yeah. Definitely, we know this guy goes in here. In the photo, his tail's cut off and things. If you want to, his tail's not that big a deal. I don't mind it having cut off a little bit like that. So up here, I know we're about where I want to end up. I want to, let's use this mark. That's not a bad mark. We'll use that mark and say, this is where we're going to kind of end up with the head. So the head's going to fit inside here. But that's a little bulbous. And then the back on these guys, looking at this drawing wise and stuff, how it comes down, just checking those angles, kind of how they come off the head here. And this one pretty much, goes all the way off. And then these guys, you get the bottom of the head. About 3 heads. 1, 2. Go right about in here. Feet will be right in here. And the rest of the tail comes out back here. One of the things where I paint too, it's just like, this is about painting, it's not about drawing. But you know, it's really good to be able to draw, because this part right here can go very fast if you have you know, drawing abilities. You don't have to get in here and noodle things. You can noodle them at the end. And that's half the thing, is just play with it. Let things happen as things will come on their own. If you just go through the way things are laid out and stuff, certain things are just going to start happening on their own. And as an artist and painter and stuff, my job is to control it a little bit, but not let the chaos play out. So, you know, yeah, I'm going to take this and see about, you know, where things go, change, you know, soften some things. But we'll get going here. That's a big head. I kind of probably overdid the size of this head. Yeah. Not by much. Okay. And wing here. So all the things will start underneath there. All the color design and stuff will start happening right here. I'm probably going to take that wing down a little bit farther as I can see it. I'm also painting at an angle. Okay, guys, if I was painting it, I'd be in front of it. And then, so when I'm painting at an angle here, it looks good from this side, but if I get in front of it, it's going to tilt a little bit, look kind of weird. But as an artist and stuff, I'm always looking for what I call excuses, or if it doesn't turn out, I have a good excuse. I'm painting at an angle. So it's good to know, right? You can't have bad thoughts when you're painting. You gotta have good, pure, clean thoughts. All right, fine. All right, so this is kind of laid out. This probably beak goes a little bit more angle-ish, like that, and like that. And this head's probably not quite, like I said, bulbous. Bring that out. There you go. A little bit better. Like I said, these are oils, and we can always fix bad drawing later on. But let's get moving. Okay, I'll be using this big brush pretty much for the whole painting, 3/4, you know. And so I do not get into my little brushes till the very, very end, and I try not to get into them very much, because just like everybody else, you get those little brushes in your hand. They usually don't leave till you touched your whole painting, and you're going to find all that beauty you put in with the big brush, you just tightened up too many areas. So, okay. Going up here, I'm going to look at my darks up here. I see some red purples, I see some cool purples, and I see some greens. So I'm going to break it up, look at it here and go, okay. I'm going to go with the reddish purple. So those are cool. Those are alizarin and blue. Those are the first colors I made. And I'm just going to do the top of his head in alizarin and blue. Pure color, no white. No white in these first. I'm going to go right through that first line of colors and pick out every place on the painting that color could go, or should go, or needs to go. So, and this crude drawing I'm just going to work out where that beak is. So that's just purple and I call it purple, but it's alizarin and blue. And I'm just going to go to the blue side here, the color, and put it in right in there. So that's red around the outsides, and then just blue right here in the middle. I'll bring that color down into here a little bit. Now I'm going to go over to just move on right down. My next colors would be the Terra Rosa and blues, which I made up. They have just a little bit more warmth in them. That Terra Rosa is just a little bit warmer than the alizarin crimson. So I'm going to bring that down into that area. I'm going to go right down. And this is the blue side of it. So that's the beauty of doing a warm two colors together. One's on the red side, one's on the blue side. And you can put them right next to each other and they're guaranteed to work. And I'm going to take this color down here a little bit and work this bird out coming down and draw it out a little bit better as I come down. So this is just Terra Rosa and blue on the blue side, coming down on this side here a little bit. I'll be switching back to the Terra Rosa with red really quickly now as I get down to the main body. Here you start seeing around this wing and where this orange comes out of this wing and stuff. I'm looking at the shadow. I'm not really looking quite at the wing itself, but I'm looking at this dark shadow on the bird. And I'll be just going to go through and put that in. And just run it through here. And I'm going to bring that up on the back side here. You can start to see how well that color does here. And the thing is, paying attention now, that's why we mix up all of our colors. Because now I'm looking at this, I go, some of these strokes are working out because I do have a thin oil base back there. And some of these strokes in here, that's, about what I need, I'll probably need. So I'm not going to have to work too hard. And that's, that's me. I don't want to work too hard. So it is hard, but I've tried to simplify it down to make it work for me. And that's the thing about doing classes and things like that, workshops. It's not all about painting just like me or trying to paint like me. It's what you can get from seeing other people's paint and understanding what's going on. It can add a whole new level to your painting by picking out something that will work for you. So that's just 4 colors right now. I'm gonna finish this off a little bit. I need to get this in here a little bit more. Back to the blue side of Terra Rosa and blue. Here, just down here, just keep it a little loosey-goosey. That area could go a little bit darker. A little darker. All right. Think about the wing here. And I'm just going to play out some of these colors. This is, again, just alizarin, or not alizarin, Terra Rosa and blue going into this wing here. Probably started just a hair too low. That's all right. Bring it back up. All right. Okay, now I'm just to my phthalo greens. Basically, I'm going to be doing alizarin phthalo greens on top of these colors. I mean, this would be fine. This is fine what I have here, but some of these colors are going to work out really nice in here too. They're going to glow a little bit, so that you won't be able to see it till till we start adding some lighter colors. So I'm going to come back. So I'm working with, this is alizarin and phthalo green. This is going to be on the green side. I'm going to use some of this green on this side here. Definitely you can start to see it happening right back in here on this bird, right in here and into its neck. I'm just using the oil I put on the board a little bit, and I did not put much on there, but I'm using that and a light touch, and you can start to see that some of these colors are in here pretty well. This is going to go a little bit more red in the body, but there is that phthalo green in there. And one of the things is that after I put a color in, I don't want to just put another color over it. I want these colors to work together. So everything's made up. All the colors are made up. It's ready to go. It's just really just taking your time and figuring out where they go. And you will not be able to see where I'm touching and things. A lot of this stuff up here will not be visible for you guys. Just one of those things I like to get in there anyway. So I'm working with just phthalo green and alizarin right now. On the alizarin side, I was working with phthalo green and alizarin on the alizarin's or phthalo green side on the outside. Now I'm coming back on the inside here of the bird here and to the shadow side. And that's going to be more on the alizarin side. You can see that head is bulbous. All right, that's okay. I'm going to come down and look at other places where these two colors can meet. Definitely, you can probably see some into these greens, these reds down in here in the bottom of that one big wing, and then at the bottom of the painting where the tail shoots off. Definitely, you can get a little more green in the very outsides and work it back into the painting. It'll help stop the eye, making a few places where you can cut things off and just stop the eye from drifting off the painting and bringing them back in. Okay, so that is that. I want to do just a little more alizarin and phthalo green here. I want to go back into this dark one more time and see if I can make it a little bit darker. This I say dark, but it's the wing shadow here. I got a lot of nice warms underneath here, but this is kind of a cooler dark here. And trying to get that to just pop a little bit more. Because contrast is, as you go in a painting, you're going to lose a lot of contrast as you go. You're going to be digging into these darks little by little. And that's why I spend more time getting my darks right, because I'll be losing them. I don't want to lose them. And so if I pay attention and really know where these guys those dark, really darker areas are that I don't want touched. I can, the form will read a lot quicker as we go. So there we go. All right. Yeah.
Tim,
Yes.
how come your brush doesn't spread like mine is doing?
When I clean it off,
Yeah,
I am just grabbing it like this
okay,
and pulling it straight out all the time. That pulls the dirty paint off and leaves me with a line like this. Sometimes you do need to just put it in oil and just recreate that thing. Yeah, some of them, I do that. It happens all the time. I mean, that's
Okay.
just a common thing. Yeah, it's not like a bad brush. It's just, they are very cheap brushes.
got it. Thanks.
They are cheap, crappy brushes, and we don't care what happens to them. We beat the heck out of them.
All right.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. Just try to. I just grab them, clean them, pull them together.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Moving on to the phthalo green. The last ones are phthalo green and terra rosa. A little bit warmer. Let's see what happens here. These are warmer ones. These are usually going to do some things. I'll look down in here. Yeah, I could see that green kind of popping through here in a little bit. You can see how warms work so well against cools. And it's a huge thing in painting. I could start to put some of this even into these wings. Okay, I missed the little wing here, little tip of a wing. That's where one of these guys come in handy to clean out an area here. You can go back and just pull the paint off. You can do it with your knife. You can do it a lot of different ways. I found this is probably one of the best ways to really get the paint off. This really takes it down to almost canvas, close as you can get. For that tool. So from one of the things that always places to, the beauty of oils is you don't have to be, stuck with something. You can fix things pretty easily. Watercolors, you can't do fixes without, changing the fundamental of a watercolor. If you go too dark or things, you can't lighten it up too much unless you use, a lot of water and stuff like that. This is not permanent. We can always move things around until we decide it's permanent. That's why I just love this stuff. So that is on the terra rosa side of phthalo green and terra rosa. One more spot here. This is where I was seeing right here, down here at the base of this bird's area here. Just a little bit of warmth coming in from behind this, shadow and into the leg. I'm gonna go with a phthalo green. I'll put it. Let's see what happens here. This is just phthalo green, and phthalo green and terra rosa, and yeah, that warmth can get on here on the outside of this color. Yeah, okay. All right, very streaky. I need to get a little bit more blue purple right here on the back edge here coming in. That'll be good. That's the thing about these birds. They just glisten. When you hit the lights in them, you can just start to see all these rainbow of dark colors in there and stuff. And that's pretty much what we created on our palette. So we should be pretty good to go. That is a warmer red. Just going through this back part of this area here. One of the toughest things I kind of to paint is like these darks, seeing these colors. I'm going to bring you in real quick here too, and you can start to see a little bit more of these colors that are going on in the neck and stuff. You can start to see the reds and greens playing together and things like that. Sorry. Hooked up into a wire. There we go. Ah, sorry. Okay. So that's what we got going right there. All right. I'm going to put in the beak. I should have probably looked at the beak too as I was going. I forgot to put that in. Definitely has some. I'm going to put phthalo green and cad red. No, not cad red. Sorry, phthalo green and terra rosa together. And for this bottom of the beak. On the green side, well, maybe nope. Started putting that in and goes, no, that's too warm. So it's alizarin and phthalo green on the green side here for the bottom of his beak. That's phthalo green and alizarin, and then I'm going to go with the alizarin and phthalo green, basically the red side, the top part of that beak, and it still can come down and be used on the bottom part a little bit, but I want to keep the basics of that. Phthalo red side or green or alizarin and red side. Right to there. There we go. Just leaving places for things. And looking at this thing going, okay, just keeps getting a little wider. I'm going, I guess we go just a little wider than that. Push these colors back out. Trying not to do too much of this. That's okay. So, neck, I think this can go up higher now too. Getting these little things straightened out before we go on too far. Not worried about the legs because the legs or just really touches, and they got to come in after the background's in, because you put them in too soon, you'll be painting around them and things like that, and that's just a mess. That's a mess. So again, this head's probably, the head's too big. Doggone it. Start over. No, that's okay. We're good. I'm going to go down and just go through some of these other warmer things. I'm going to start getting into the brighter areas of the bird. Definitely here. This is going to go no white yet. These are just straight colors. This is a blue and phthalo green, but it's on the blue side. Right where this wing ends, you can start to see a few spots right here, right over here, and right back there. And then I'll look and see a lot of glistening kind of things happening. You know, you're going to find even in areas like this, you can get just a hint of blue. There's that blue coming into these greens. That's why I kind of put them in very thin, because a lot of times you want to get these other colors to come in over them. And when they come in over them and stuff, they just, you know, it's just a slight touch. And that's always the key. It's just a slight touch. Where I can see some of that blue showing through. Just a small smudge of blue. That's where, you know, the beauty of this color is what we did starts to show through a lot. Now I have a lot of warm greens already in here. I got some reds underneath, got some green coming in through, and you can see both of them pretty easily. Now I'm going to put a blue on top of that. But I just got to, it's a gentle layup of colors just to, and you, one of the things is you just can't, you can't go back and forth. You can't go back and forth like that over the painting. You got to do it one stroke at a time and just let the two colors blend and work together instead of making mud. You'll make mud really easily by pushing them back and forth like that. So it's always just a nice, you can get it in there one deliberate stroke instead of 6. And it works, it works. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm gonna go just move over. This is on the green side a little bit more. Basically, it goes into a lot of these same areas here. I'll be lightening up this whole section probably with just a little bit more light in these colors. And gonna look at this right now. I just can't do too much with it. It's not really popping, you know. So it doesn't get a whole lot of play here. Probably might be able to see it right up here too. You can sort of see it in this back end of his head here. And there's a little line of it there. That's a little stuff. Okay. That's just doesn't look like much, but there's a lot of color going on in here. Okay. Everything else now, these next colors will start to open up this painting. You'll be able to see all the colors. Definitely this is a red. This is a red alizarin and Terra Rosa together. And, you know, that starts to go on these wings back in here. On the wings, usually I try to paint them almost, you know, feather by feather. You know, stroke by stroke, bringing these guys in. I'm not going to be trying to doing all of them at one time. This is where you basically some of the drawing starts to take over. And every time I do this, correcting some drawing mistakes as I go. And just putting it in lightly, just let it doesn't have putting it in too flat and too perfect. Don't have to do that. You can, I want transparencies going on. So it's like, don't have to be perfect. It's not supposed to be a flat color. It's supposed to have some things. So that's why you put it in gently. At this point, you're just going to go through it, put it in. There will be a point where you will have to, you know, put it in like you mean it, right? But till that point, we want to keep it nice and easy for ourselves and not have to work towards that we're going to have to tighten this thing up. But this is just tightening up slowly, little by little. And then finally, when we get there, that's when we'll turn it all on. This is a good one right here. This is going to be a nice nice spot right here to put in. This is, again, I'm just using right now, I'm just using alizarin and just a little bit of Terra Rosa here. I'm just going to barely put the tip of my brush in oil. Just a touch of it, you know, barely touch oil. Just a touch of it, and then grab my paint. What that enhances me to do is put a pure color, that pure color right on top of that brown without the two mixing. You only get 2 strokes. And then it goes back to everything else. But I'll be doing that as I go farther along. But right there, that's a good one to really get, you know, nail right there. That one, and probably this bottom one. Here, I can try it there a little bit better here again. See if I can get the color to stick. Okay. Also, I'm gonna put that color right here up on that little spot here on the beak. That reddish spot. Definitely, you know, there's that, and then just a little bit of one underneath his bottom of his beak too. Okay. Next color. I'm just going to go over. The next color is just cad red and phthalo green together. This becomes like a real tan, or it's not really, it's a warm burnt orange type thing. And you can see, almost kind of tells you right where that goes. It goes right there in that one spot there. It can go in there. You know, that's the thing, is as we go through this colors, there'll be less and less to use all the time. We'll be good. Colors don't go everywhere. They go only in certain spots. Can only work in certain spots. As you can start seeing when I'm start putting this orange in here, it's going to kick that blue out. I mean, it's going to make that blue jump out of here. These two complementary colors, orange and blue going together, it's going to kick that, you know, make that thing pop. So you're going to start seeing colors a lot better in here. But it's always the same. It's just, you've got to control it all the way through. Can't let this color, I can't put it everywhere. I am going to put it, though, this color, at the bottom of this guy right in here. Gonna catch this back end of that feather back in here, and then these other drifts here and into the legs here, just the outsides. The legs comes down about here, and then just catch the very bottom of the shape with that warm red. Try not to touch too many of those colors up there, and then maybe on the outside a little bit. Also, before I wiped off my color, I want to go here a little bit and start doing just a little bit of inside marks on this leaf, or this leaf, painted like a leaf, feathers, leaves, very close to the same thing. How you have to paint them. And that's the way it is in painting. A lot of things are the same association of how you paint things. So learning to paint feathers, you should be able to paint leaves, pretty much. Yeah, I'm just going to go in here and just look at these little spots here. That think about the overlay of some of those feathers, and get this back one just a little bit more. Anything else I can stand out? Okay, one of the things, now I have my paint just right. There's just this little area right up here about his head here and stuff. I always wanted to lighten it up with just a little bit of this, just a little bit of phthalo green and alizarin and cad red here, working that into that area, coming in with a few strokes of that. All right. Well, that, that looks like a mess. Definitely looks like a mess. That's good. That's good. These next parts and stuff will just pop it out. That's the thing, is at this point, every time I touch painting, it should just jump. I haven't even gotten to half my paintings. But I'm looking at this and gonna put a little of this Terra Rose around the outside of this side of this body. Putting a little red around this outside because I'm gonna be tearing into that a little bit, but I want to have this red in there. Thinking about it ahead of time. Okay. It's beak definitely is too big, but that's okay. All right. So basically at this point, we have gone through all of our darks, non-white colors. There's no white added to this paint yet. White adds the opacity to the paint. Right now, it's all very thin. It's all glowing and stuff. There's a lot of transparencies going on. As soon as I start adding white, there's another element happens. I'll be just basically doing this area here with a little bit in the midtones and stuff. I'm going to go through and look at my colors. I think that these are going to be on the cooler sides up here and redder sides down in the main body. So a little bit of blue. So these are basically 8s. We haven't even used them. This is alizarin and blue. We had it up here. And I'm just going to just kind of basically just drag my brush down very lightly into that area. And when I get down there and see what's happening, it's good. I'm going to go over to the phthalo green side of it, the phthalo green and alizarin side, and grab that paint because I can see that lightening up right in here. So I'll be bringing back some little phthalo green and alizarin back into this mix, right into there, coming in. Yeah, I mean, if you look in there's a lot of stuff going on. Be a good time. I'm gonna change brushes at this point because I just said that. Now I'm going to do that same color, but I'm going to do it with a bristle brush. Make sure you have a nice, clean touch of oil on my brush just to liven it up and stuff. This is again phthalo green and alizarin. And I put it there and I stopped there because I was going to just take this and gently pull this guy over those paints. And what that does, it works, doesn't just wipe, it just kind of clears paths. Doesn't do a lot of mixing. In these, you can get that sort of same effect without doing it. Kind of just a little bit, pushed a little bit too hard, but not bad. Good enough. I'm going with some of the purples into the neck here. So I'm going to go back to these sides here. And I'm doing an upward stroke because I want to let the, I want the hard edge of the brush lower and grade 8 up a little bit. So that's why I'm doing that. So I'm just going through my secondary colors, looking where I see some warms and cools. Oh, that was good. But that's, boy, that could have been. That's more than this. Let me see if this is better. Oh. Some of these colors can be so close to the same. And now it's just basically mixing up marks. Warmer in the body here, so that means more red. The red side of the colors. Up here was very blue, but I think I kind of just kind of wiped off. Sometimes even when you go to a new brush, getting that used to how the paint's going to come off and stuff. Sometimes that's what happened there. I just wasn't used to how it was going to come off. And sometimes just got to go back in and do it from the other way. Come back and bring that dark back in here a little bit and do it before I get too much white going into my painting. But this is getting close. As you can see, it starts to form, starts to show off. And it basically is going to be just warm purples coming in here at the end. A lot of purples. And I say purples is basically blue and reds, or phthalo greens and reds. And I'm just going to go through a little bit more. This will speed up. We got here. I got a half an hour to finish this. Over a half an hour. And we might go a little long just because if I kind of mess up some things. I didn't mess up, but we're going to say it was Zoom messed up. But so right now just working this is purple, this is alizarin, and blue with white coming in. And when you start putting in clean colors like that, even though it doesn't belong, it's a really nice little spot. So this is the beauty of this palette and the way it works. You speed up, and then all of a sudden, you have to slow down. But it's always the little stuff, these little things, big stuff, and then your little stuff. So this purple goes into a lot of these things here, and you can see how they really works well. Definitely right in here. Let me try that again. Yeah, there we go. It starts to fold that bird around. You start to get some ideas of shape, of real shape. Not too worried about these all these feathers being perfect on the feathers. Just got to nail a few. That's the thing. It's going to hit a few of them decently. Okay, mark wise, getting there. Yeah, this is working really good. If I can just now I can use a bristle, and it's going to get these others getting fun, getting really a lot of fun colors going in there. That's a scientific term, fun. Yeah. All right. Now that's not bright enough. I got to brighten these things up one more time, and then hit these feathers, and then we're ready to do the background. So one more time, I'm going to just use this brush. I don't need to switch off. I'm going to go down to, I'm going to drop down to some number 4 colors, value of 4s, and look at these little phthalo greens, and that might be too light. Phthalo green and alizarin mixes. Right around that's more of a 3, so I want to go down in here. And I want to just do this whole section here and see if I can just draw my guy enough. The lighter you hold it, the more the right stroke's going to come out. Okay. Starting to get around the eye here, working that way. And then come here and just drag it up here, finding these last lighter areas now. Definitely you can get in here and, dig these feathers out in his back here. And this is just the alizarin and phthalo green, and this is on the alizarin side right here. That was on the phthalo green side up there. These are the light versions of those colors, all the way down to probably about a 4-ish. And that's your highlights on this one, this guy. When you get to that area, that's your highlight. And I don't want too many of these. I don't want to see too harsh of a stop there. So I'll just blend. Okay. So this is going to be pretty much the highlights on all the feathers when you come down here and stuff. That's, you could sit and noodle these colors out a little bit tougher, longer and stuff. But these colors and what I'm working with are pretty much going to work. I'm not going to have to do too much. Not what I want it blue. I want that one darker. Now I want the phthalo and blue coming out here. Yeah, there you go. Just, you see, I try to keep white out of my brush as long as possible in these paintings, because as soon as you start getting white in your brush, things start to contrast. All these things start messing up a little bit. So now I can just go in. Okay. Yeah, everybody is still muted, so if you need to talk, please, don't worry about turning your stuff on. You want to say something, say what did. All right. Yeah, you guys can see I'm always leaving areas here. I'm going with what my brush is doing. All right. Definitely need some brightening up. And that's right where we are. Let's switch on to synthetic. Rosemary here, and start working on the beak. Basically, I'm going to look at that and go, yeah, that's that highlight is not as bright as you want. I definitely want to keep those things down. So I'm going with like a blue and alizarin, or no, blue and warm red, and on this one, just to get around here, I might have to come back and sneak up on that highlight here. I don't want to hit it too quick, too bright. All right, and the shape stuff I'm going to clean up in a second. Little things I'll end up doing, just say, you know, no, it's on the blue side. Take my knife and get those little teeny line scratches in here. You know, in the beak, just being able to do that with your knife. Good things to know. Little things when then to bring the knife out. When you bring that out and the colors you use. I'm going to go with this. Like when you want these lines in the middle of a feather, scratching them in with a knife. Sometimes better idea than painting them in. They're a little warmer. They should be on the red side. Okay. All right, and then the eye. I'm gonna go with a little bit smaller of a brush. That don't really have too many small brushes. So I'm gonna put that eye in. I'm definitely gonna put it in. We'll go dark and then work it light. Find out the spot. You know, right about there. That's about right value too. That was alizarin and alizarin and fatal green. You know, and I'm also going to find other areas. Going to go with it. But that's not like it's the brightest. That value is not quite that dark as you think it is. And maybe I'll come back with just flecks of blue light. This is where I mixed up this color for this eye, but I didn't. I just decided to go with just to keep it a little darker, but maybe little flecks in the bottom area. Be all right. There are some areas here we could definitely get some more light on these guys and bring out these last things. These are finally getting to, you know, custom the colors with, you know, white in them in these brighter areas here. That is. And you can start to get these things separated out. Yeah, it's tough to follow me, but everything's there. Those guys. All right. Okay, background. Go into that pretty soon. Just lighten these guys up just to get that. There you go. This last color, this color I'm using now is just this phthalo green blue with just a little bit of white in it. It is on the green side. And this is the color it gives the iridescence to this this crow. You put that just that little light in here. So just using it in a few spots. Just let it come off the brush. Just this tip. Boy, that's going to be great. Now, just the very tip of this beak into that color. It's great. Look for just a little, one more spot on that beak, lower area to give it some light. Darken in those guys. Put a spot there. All right, background. 10 minutes. Now, this is where the excitement happens. This is why I kept everybody waiting. Trying to get this background in. Now, you can use the background to basically correct a lot of mistakes, drawing mistakes, stuff like that. I'm going to start off with a warmer. This is a cad orange with phthalo green in it, right? Very transparent. And what I'm going to do is try to see if I can just get around here a little bit. As you can see, yeah, it's definitely the color you want in there. You want to get rid of some of that red that is in here. So definitely that. If I can just change the shape of this beak a little bit with that. Soften it just a hair going around it. There you go. And just pull it out a little bit so it doesn't seem like it's only place. Maybe I should switch to a bristle right now too. Just a bristle will open up a little bit better, I think, too. Especially down here. Get that same color. Take it into these guys right in here. A little bit too much, but hey, push it right back. Push it back in the right direction. It'll work. Okay. That eye is probably too small, but that's okay. I'm gonna just get everything coming away from it like this. You know, pushing away, reinforcing this shape here. Coming away from that bird. And again, that is with, you know, full strength, no white added. Now I'm adding to the white version of it. I'm going to start to change the shape of the bird a little bit, head-wise, and, you know, get that in right. But no buts, no buts. Keep this over here. I think on this side, maybe I'll stay a little more greenish on this side. So, okay. Get this in here. Too far on that one. There we go. That's the fun part. So this is, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be following exactly what I'm doing here. This you can't, you know, every stroke. Yeah, you can't do that. Let's see if this turns out. Okay. Let's tighten it. All right. This is all way I'm working now is to get to the fun stuff. Keeping a background that's a little goofy, showing through some things. Make sure that it's not too crazy, but it's crazy enough back-wise. Even just maybe bring in some more wood into this section. Okay. Fun part. Well, let's see if we can make it work. I'm just going to be pushing in here a little bit and removing paint. Making, trying to correct drawing places and stuff. Little things you always find tension in areas and stuff, like, you know, finding areas where things change direction, you know, enhancing those things, little areas like this where things go like that, a little bit better. There we go. Put things through. So what I'm looking for, sort of like I was just going to say, is change of direction or to slow something down when you have a big area like here. A nick in there all of a sudden will stop the viewer. So you're always looking for things that come through. Little nicks in the paint. I'm gonna have to rework a little bit of these guys yet. I don't have everything I have in them. Back here, he has some dusting on his back things back there, so it's a nice little spot to even to do that. Touch it, break in. You know, correct some of the drawing areas. So when I do have too much paint, just push it in there and cut through, create more transparencies. Yeah. Yeah, got a little carried away, but that's what happens right there. You can't carry it away. Then I'll just put it in the back of his legs. Got a set of feet in sand, just get a little hook to the last one. Now I'm just going to go back in and do the final little things I did end up doing. So make sure I didn't screw this up too much. That's it. Yeah, I'll have to go in and just fix up a couple of these guys, bring them out. But I'll bring you in for a close-up on it. That's about it. Yeah. You can start to see the head up there. Sorry about that. Legs could be a little bit wider too. In the background, still some work to do back there. So, anybody paint? Anybody else paint? Let's see. Anne Marie, I know painted. Oh, well, a few more people showed up. Sorry about the problems with YouTube today, or not YouTube, Zoom today. I don't know why they were doing that. Let's see. Anne Marie, let's see what she did. Did you paint Anne Marie?
I did. I can get this thing.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, they always look. Yeah. That's no problems. No problem. Good background too. I like that background too. Good job. That was good work on that. I like even the dark, warm behind him a little bit more. That was nice. That's in the background. That really that's nice.
Thank you. Gotta work on his beak area.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, not bad for an hour and a half painting.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Congrats. Let's see what Shar. Let's see if we go to Shar here.
Okay,
Shar?
just a second.
No second. Right now, Shar.
Wait a minute.
I will go back. I mean,
I'm ready. I'm working on the background and there.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, just there you go. Got all the glare off it. Wow, that's a good looking crow. Beautiful. Yeah, you really got some nice things going on there. Yeah, I like the background too. I like the way you're handling it and stuff. Yeah, yours is just yeah. You don't have to go as crazy as I just tried to do, and nick everything and things like that. Yeah, you got a beautiful little portrait going on here too. Its eye might be just a little low, but not
Yeah,
by much. Not
yeah,
by much. And that
yeah,
could be the way you're tipping it too.
yeah. I think it is a
So
little low. Yeah. And
and
I haven't finished the feet and
yeah, the beak you're on too. But
yeah.
that's good. That's color wise. I really like the combination of the goldish, the cad red and the phthalo green back there. Really nice. Good job. Yeah, you
Okay.
can start to see the color. Really, it starts to have that iridescence of those feathers very nicely. Don't overwork it. Get those reds in really strong into those feathers at the end, and that
See,
that
I
would be
got them
gorgeous. That's
too
gonna be
red.
gorgeous.
And then I brought them back. I had them, they were like really red instead of like a brown red. So
Yeah.
and then I tried to fix them and I got them too dark. So you're right.
No worries. That's
Okay.
that's okay. You can fix that. That's an
Yeah.
easy fix.
Okay.
Just good clean paint on
Okay.
top of it. Okay, just a
Yep.
touch of oil, and you should go glide right over that. Okay. Anybody else want to show? I just want to leave that on her. Anybody else paint? Just, I think I have everybody muted.
I just got here, Jim. Thank you. Sorry. This is Lori.
Hey, Lori, no problem. You were out running probably, right?
I got to see your finishing touches, so
Yeah, sort of finishing, but yeah, we got some work to do, but not too much.
I was gonna work on a magpie on my own, so this helps a lot.
Good. Yeah, this should help out. Definitely on one of those guys.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. So let's see. I know that was Anne Marie and Jean. I know those are the people I know who painted. Anybody else paint? Anyway, so there you go. That's sort of what we do in the class. We get one painting done a week like this, and then I'll finish it up and I'll post it to everybody, and we'll all exchange critiques on our Facebook page. We have a private Facebook page, and we get more critique. I'll give out more critiques there, and that's the way things go. It's fun, pretty lighthearted, and that's about it. Any questions? Well, thanks for joining me. Look for me. I'm doing workshops in Europe this year. If anybody wants to join in on that, you can look on my website, and we're going to be going to France for a workshop in end of July. And I have other workshops around the country too. So out west and things like that in October. So if you ever want to join in a workshop, let me know. I'll be around. Thanks for joining, guys. Have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, and spending this little time. I will make a donation. I got like 35 people, $5 a crack. There's a few more there. People doubled up, gave some extra money, so I'll be giving that all to Catnap from the Heart, which is a local animal shelter here for cats. All right. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you,
All right.
Jim.
Okay, guys.
Take care.
Take her easy. Bye.